So I'm back to the farm. I'm gonna try and get back into the swing of things. I've been doing paperwork the last couple of days, titling trucks and other things. Half of my seed order has come in. I love how they did that, and my battery is going to die on this freaking thing. God darn it. Anyway, somebody had asked me if this was a triple stack variety. Yeah, it is a Smart Stacks blend. So what they do is they blend the what do you call it, the BT, I guess you would call it, and it has the Refuge in a bag. Plus, it is a Roundup Ready and a Liberty Link. I had asked for that because I really want the option. I like Liberty Link or Liberty Herbicide. It works really good, and I can use a product called Ignite on this as well. Not that I want to stay away from Roundup. I just think that Ignite or Liberty works so much faster and so much better, and there's no residual or resistant weeds to it. And we do have some mare's tail on a couple of these places that could possibly be resistant weeds. And I'm not a big 2,4-D on corn fan. At least that's the way. At least when I was growing corn 5 years ago, that was, a big no-no. So there's 100 acres worth of seed corn here on this pallet, and I'm going to order another. Well, I've got another 100 acres ordered. This is all just one variety, the FS 63R22 or 29SS blend. This is supposed to have a lot of stalk material, and that's really what I'm looking for, is stalk material, and it's supposed to be a moderate yielder. From what I understand, I'm not looking for that super high yield. I'm looking for a good, strong standability corn that has a lot of stalks and a decent yielder, and with a high or a tall ear height to keep the deer out of it. And that's what this is. I'm going to get a DeKalb variety. I don't know whether I'm going to go with a Hubner. I don't know if Hubner's even Hubner. I've used Hubner in the past, but I may get a Hubner variety as well, and a DeKalb to make up the next 100 acres. So I should have about 200 acres of corn to go in the ground. I'm borrowing my neighbor's John Deere 7000 corn planter. It's a 12-row, and that should get this corn planted in just a couple of days. It won't take too long to do 200 acres of corn. I'm going to have the ground all worked up, and I'll let it settle. This is one thing about the land that I have here is if you chisel plow it, work it, if you roll it with a roller harrow, it works out really, really nice. Or you just let it settle. So this corn planter is not a no-till corn planter, so everything has to be worked down, worked up and leveled out and good to go on that, so that the corn planter gets it in nice. So what I'm going to do, as soon as we have green up, I'm going to kill the acreage that needs to be planted into corn. I'm going to kill it all, and then I am going to spread my compost onto it and get my nitrogen in, and then chisel plow it, work it, let it settle for a few days or even a week or whatever, and then go in and plant this corn. The ground has to be ready. I'm not going to make mud balls. I'm not going to make clumps. The ground has to be ready. Temperature's got to be right. Everything's got to be right, and then we're just going to go for broke on it. So that's coming up as soon as possible. Things are. I think spring is going to sprung, or spring's about to spring, or sprung and spring and spring and sprung, or whatnot. That's going to happen. I got a bit of a cold as well. Jet lag's a bitch too, but I got a bit of a cold. Anyway, with that being said, that's what I've got. This is an FS variety. I know there's some guys that say, oh, that's garbage. They buy this seed from Pioneer, or they buy parent seed. This is not grown by FS. None of the seed corns. There's a very, very thin or a very small pool that they pull their varieties from, and they just brand it as they brand it. And everybody should know that by now, but I don't know why people still think that this is bad, but whatever. There is a non-specific varieties in the blend. They're just calling it that as a blend, and they're not telling me in here that there's no specific varieties that are in there. They didn't say, but it's just a blend of different varieties that give me everything that I asked for. So we're good to go. Anyway, yeah, I'll get on to something. So I guess I'm just going to show off this baler here, and I'll talk about it a little bit as I go. This is actually, it's a 4910. It's like a 2000 model, 2001 model, and this is just so this baler has less bales on it. All the indications that it has less bales on it are true. I mean, less bales than the baler that I had previously had, the one that I did all the work to. But the downfall to this baler is the people that owned it did not know what they were doing with it. Two things. One, obviously it was stored outside. It was never cleaned off properly. It was stored outside. But, you know, again, that's just cosmetics. Cosmetics don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But, you know, if you look at these boards, you can see that they're all, you know, the bales have been left in them over the years, which, again, isn't really going to negatively impact the baler. But where it does count, where it does count, it looks as though it is in good shape. When I had the other baler, the knife was junk, but on this one the knife is fine. The upper shears and the knife on the bottom are fine. All the rollers will need to be replaced, all of them. There's a couple of plunger dogs that need to be, there's one there that's broken off, and then there's some there's pins that could possibly need to be replaced, but I think they're okay. But the board pins are fine. They're actually quite true, and there's no problems with those. So that part of the baler is fine. Now we go up to the top, and my battery is just trying to die on me. I don't know why. It's brand freaking new. I'm going to have to buy more batteries for this thing. I washed a couple of them while I was in the Philippines. Now, this does not have the blower system on it that the old one had. But if you look at this. That roller is as loose as a goose. Matter of fact, it's so loose, there's no bolt in it. Can you believe that? But that's how loose that is. Junk. These are the old style ones too. They're not even the new style ones. These are just bushings. The new styles are actual bearings. So let me put that together. So this was, you know, if you just go down the line with it, it's got some neglect to it. So, you know, and in all honesty, it's okay. It is okay because I'm going to replace all that hardware, and so be it. Now, like I said, they didn't really know what they were doing, but at least they were kind enough to grease it as they went. Now, the bill hooks look like they're okay. The knife arms actually look like they're okay. They've only got 8,000 bales through them. They're all original. I don't see it. Any of them have been replaced. And I'll closer inspect those when I get down to it. If you look in here, they're actually in the correct spot. All of them are in the correct spot that I could see. This one's out. This one here is out. This one here is out. This one here is out. Okay, so I got to adjust all that stuff. So basically what I've got here is this baler that has to be completely gone over, just like the other one, only the other one didn't look as bad as what this one does, but it doesn't matter because it all has to be replaced. I do notice another thing here that is a problem. Not a major problem, but it is a problem that'll have to be addressed. And that's right here. Look at that. That's the vent that goes down into the gearbox. And when it rains, water will run down there and ruin my gearbox. Which doesn't make any sense to me why that got knocked off, but it is. Everything down in here is just plain dirty. Just plain dirty, which no big deal, right? No big deal. Just clean it up and you're good to go, right? Right. So I'm not upset at all about this thing. I honestly think that the baler itself is in good shape, and I'm going to shut this off and go down, and I will show you the pre-charge and the stuffer side of it, and you will be able to see that the general function of the baler is in good shape. the general condition of the baler is in good shape, other than the minor neglects that we've had, and there's really not that much here. But I do want to point out another thing here, and if you don't know anything about these balers, you can learn really, really quick how they can fuck you up just by stupid stuff that you do. And you wouldn't think that it would matter, but it really does matter. So these are your twine tensioners are down here, okay? And they need to really spin pretty freely. These are seized up. There's a lot of pressure on there, like they're dirty inside. So what I'll be doing is pulling those apart and cleaning them out, or just pulling the string out of them. More than anything, I'll be pulling the string out. You only need 2 to 3 pounds of pull on these strings in order for it to function correctly. But here's a lovely little thing that they did. See, these are the right springs for these returns, and these are not the right springs for the return. So if these are not correct, it will not put the proper tension on the twine as it goes to tie the knot. And there's 1, 2 of these fly door springs that they've got in there that need to be addressed. So I will be doing that as well. I do need to find out what's going on in Battleground, Washington. Okay, so I'm going to get a little wet here. And so here's these springs that are here, right? These are the original springs that belong on here. But if you look here, we got a swinging willy here. This does nothing. And we've got this bit of bullshit here as well, which is another fly door spring. It needs to have a certain amount of tension on these arms, or it doesn't tie a knot. Now this one here is broke, or this one here is okay, but if you look up there, the needle is broke. That needle is bent all to shit, so that needle has to be replaced, and they're $400 or $500. But I'm gonna attempt to straighten it out. If I can get it straightened out, then life will be good. But you know, it's just like, this stuff doesn't go. This doesn't work. You can't bale like this. You can't have a baler in that kind of condition. And they're just nickel and dime stuff. But the crankshaft, perfect shape. It's really good. I was expecting to see broken hoses there, but they're not broken. They're in good shape. But the crankshaft, this is the old crankshaft. It's not the updated one. But it will work. It'll work just fine, and I'll just be able to grease that. The grease port for that is right here. So anyways, I'm gonna probably pull this thing up to the shop today and get it working, or get working on it for spring. So on to the next job, I guess.